Good morning or afternoon or good midnight, depends on when this uploads. I always say I'm so excited. I am so excited. All right, today I am thrilled, okay? Let's use that word. Let's say I'm thrilled. Today I'm thrilled because today I have a dupe palette that we're gonna try out for the first time. I had not even opened this. I got this a couple of days ago, but I thought, no, I'm gonna sit down and look at it on camera with you guys. And so that's what I've done. It is a dupe for the Abh Sultry palette, which is beautiful. This is so pretty. It's got everything that I could ever want. It has cool tones mixed with warm tones, and it has shimmers, and it does have this little pop of color right here. This is perfect for me. Alter Ego sent me the Temptress palette, and so we are trying that out. So this is the Temptress palette in all of its glory, and it's beautiful. If you didn't have it to compare to the Abh palette and you were just looking at this, I would order this anyway. I mean, just not even as a dupe product, but just looking at this palette, these colors are so pretty. These are my day-to-day, well, I say day-to-day, I like to wear glitter every day, so, and shimmer. But you do have some mattes. You have 7 mattes in here, so you could definitely do an everyday wearable look. But why do everyday wearable when you have these kind of shimmers? So this is what speaks to me. So Alter Ego, this is their very first palette, if I'm understanding correctly. This is their very first palette. And in my opinion, they could not have picked a more perfect palette to go and dupe, okay? So this one is, like I just said, it's stunning, it's gorgeous. And the Temptress palette is equally as stunning and gorgeous, y'all. Look at that. The Abh palette is a little bit smaller than the Alter Ego palette, and they're in a little bit different order, but it is so easy to tell. Right now, I did check on their website before I came online, or before I jumped in front of the camera. They are sending you these 2 brushes with the palette for $16. This is the only thing that they have for sale on their website, because I think this is a brand new launch for them. So if they continue to do palettes like this one, I'm all in, okay? Gosh, I'm just throwing my whole video out the window. I have one eye done with the Temptress palette and one eye done with the Sultry palette. So y'all look closely. Don't look at my jacked up eyeliner, but can you tell a difference? Okay. All right, so do you have it in mind which one is which? Let me go ahead and pick out some of my favorites to swatch. I'm gonna do Desire, and let's do Sterling, and let's do Guilt, and Blush. Okay, so this is my swatching technique. Can y'all see the colors there? Okay, so I'm gonna do Blush first, which is super pigmented. Now I'm gonna forget what I've done here. And then we're gonna do Desire, and then Sterling. Oh, how pretty. And then Guilt. Oh my gosh, look how pretty. I mean, I am a sucker for metallics anyways. You're speaking my language. These look like liquid metal, so that is really cool. Okay, so on the Abh palette, I don't know what I'm gonna hold this with. On the Abh palette, the ones that are comparable to this are the Bloom shade is easy, that's the blush. The Cyborg is Sterling, and then we have Steampunk, which is Guilt, okay? Okay, in a second, I'm gonna get these close so that y'all can see. Okay, so to me, that is awesome. So then we're gonna do Cyborg. That's so pretty. It has a pink shift to it. And then the last one, Guilt, I'm gonna do Steampunk, okay? Those are identical. Those are identical. Let me tell you a little bit. I can definitely tell there's a difference in the formula, which is kind of a good thing for the Temptress palette. Even swatching with my fingers just now, these are so soft. How powdery this palette is, it got some bad reviews. The Temptress palette, the dupe palette, does not do that. which you'll see when I go to the application part of the video, that because on the ABH side, the powders pick up a little bit more. You tap your brush into the ABH side, you pick up so much more product, I think. So on the surface, when you first start putting them on, they look a little more pigmented than the Temptress side. Personally, I don't love that, and that was the reviews that I saw for the Sultry palette. People were complaining about that. So the Temptress palette doesn't do that, but a couple of the shades, they might go on a little bit lighter. If you're doing a, if you're doing a split screen and you're comparing one side of your face to the other side, the Temptress side might go on a tiny bit lighter, and you just have to pick up a little more product and you can make it even. So that is pretty cool, I think. So did y'all guess? Did you figure out which side was which? All right, you're about to see, because we're gonna jump into the application part today. All right, so let's jump in and y'all can see if you guessed right, okay? This is a straight up honest first impression. I am just opening these both for the first time. So we have, this one is going on the left and the Sultry palette is going on the right. We're gonna be testing out the brushes and the palette. All right, so the very first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick up this lace shade down here in the corner, and we're just, okay, so I probably should not have worn my bangs down today. So let's see if we can't get those things out of the way a little. Oh, they look terrible when I just do them over like that, but that's what's happening today. All right, so we're gonna get those out of the way so that y'all can actually see my eyeballs. Now, I am such a goober. Okay, let's put a little bit of primer on, since I always use primer. The very first thing that I want to do is I've started with a primer, because that's how I would normally do my eyes. Today I used Urban Decay's, so that is on there. And now let's get started. We're doing this side first, and I'm using their, yes, okay, it doesn't have a number on here, but it's the smaller of the two brushes that they sent me. And I'm going to pick up this lace shade right here in the corner. Is that for real? I thought there would, dropping it on the floor would be bad. All right, so I've got that on my brush. This is the very first time that I'm trying this out completely. So I'm just gonna go all over my whole lid with this. So on the Sultry side, we're gonna use Fresh is the name of this one. And okay, that's not gonna show up well at all. The ABH side, there's a ton of dust up. It's really super powdery. So I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, that's probably not gonna show up at all, but let's see. Did y'all see that? It's really powdery. So the Temptress side was not. So that's a difference. I will say I probably picked up a little bit more because it was super powdery. It seems like it's a little more on my eye than the other side. So we're not gonna go back. We're just gonna do it as is. I'm gonna put this down. This is so weird to do two at one time. Keep my head on straight. Today I think I'm going to, what am I wearing? I think I'm gonna stay with a warm look, just because this poncho thing has a little bit of gold woven in it. Woven? What did I say? Weaved? It has a little bit of gold in it. I'm gonna pick up Uptown, which is right here. Not much kick up at all. Really not. Okay, so I tap that off just so that it doesn't dust down over my already done makeup. And then I'm just gonna go right here in the crease. Okay. That looks really patchy. See if I can blend it out. All right, that's looking better. So I think the comparable shade to Uptown will be Twig, which is right here. This is Twig, and we're gonna do the same thing. It's got a little more dust up, a little more kick up on the ABH side. So I'm gonna knock that off. Oh, This is way more pigmented on this side. Wasn't quite expecting that. It's kind of behaving the same. It's looking a little patchy when it first hits my lid. Yeah, not bad. Do I have that even? I think because this palette is a little more dusty, the actual palette is a little more dusty. When you touch your brush into it, you see the dust? You see how powdery it is? That was one of the complaints that I had read about this palette. So what I'm thinking is, because it's so powdery, when you touch your brush into it, you get more product on your brush, which means that on the surface it's looking like this Temptress palette is a little less pigmented, but I think I'm just picking up a little less product. So what I want to do to kind of be fair is I'm going to come back to this Uptown and I'm going to pick up a little bit more, because I just barely dipped into that, and so I'm going to come back. Yeah, that makes them a little more the same shade. That's completely the same shade, and it's blending better. This is a clean brush, and so there's nothing on it, and I'm just blending those two out with this one. Blending those two out with just a naked brush, okay? Can't find the word that I want to use. Naked brush. All right, so the next step, I'm going to come in just here in the crease area, and I want to see what the shade Lust looks like, okay? It is a warm tone, so we're just mixing all the tones together. I'm going to push a little bit more product into the brush, just because if I want these to, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that, because that's really pigmented. Ooh, that looks really good. All right, so I'm going in the crease and then just kind of here on the outside edge, and I'm getting fallout here on my face. Let me use my brush that doesn't have anything on it, and I'm just going to kind of blend that in. Okay, not bad, not bad. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing with Birch on the right side. Okay, can y'all see that? These are really nice brushes too, and I just used the Alter Ego brush. There's nothing on these yet, so I guess it doesn't really matter. I used the Alter Ego brush to blend out the ABH side. All right, so now that we have that done, oh, this is killing me that I have that fallout. There is a tiny bit over here on this side too, so right now we're neck and neck. What color do we want? Dystopian is the dark chocolate shade that I want to use from the Sultry palette, and then After Hours looks like the dupe for that on the Temptress side. So let's try that out. I'm just gonna go with, let me put these down back in the same order instead of switching them up. That'd be terrible. I'm gonna put this just a little bit out here on the edge. We may have to come back and touch that up a little bit, but we're gonna see. And I'm not going to this side. This is my usual routine is to start on the left, and then I always do my right eye, but I'm trying to keep myself sane. All right, so we're gonna do the sultry side first. I've got Dystopian on my brush. Whoa, that is way, whoa, that's really dark. Okay, that's way more color than I thought I had there. All right, so let me see what I can do with that. Okay, so I'm gonna just try to blend this out, because that is way pigmented. So if you're looking for a dark, smoky brown eye, this is it, okay? All right, so let's see how After Hours stacks up on the Temptress side. Do y'all need to see me dip in there? Do you trust me that I'm actually using the Temptress palette on one side? Okay, so we're gonna pick that up, tap it off a little bit, not very much fallout at all. Yeah, okay, look at that. That's as dark as the sultry side was. Okay, so I'm gonna stop putting that on there, get my blending brush that doesn't have anything on it, and just kind of fan that out a little bit. We're looking kind of even. Whoa, y'all. This was as pigmented as the ABH side, so that is really impressive. Those are my jam. Those palettes are my jam. So both of these palettes are speaking my language. I'm telling you, speaking my love language, all right? Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is I'm going to pick up a flat shader brush. This one is by Sigma, the E55. Just a flat shader brush that you can pack on your colors a little bit better, because now I'm going to shift into the glitters, okay? To me, glitters work a little bit better if you pack them on. A lot of times they work better with just your finger, but we're gonna try to be fancy here and we're gonna use actual tools, and we'll see. We may have to come back and use the finger anyway. All right, so this is looking great. Makes me nervous. What could I do to mess it up? I'm in love with the champagne color on the Temptress side. This is a kind of a rosy gold. That is beautiful. On the ABH side, it's called Rose Quartz. And it's this one right. I keep showing y'all that upside down. I don't know why. All right, so Rose Quartz, and I just touched the brown, which is super pigmented behind that. Rose Quartz is this one. Beautiful, so pretty. Kind of tapping into that palette. Yep, okay, so it's a pinky shade. And we're gonna go right here in the middle. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I want to see if I go with my finger, if I get a little more color payoff, and I do. Oh my gosh, y'all, these palettes are beautiful. Okay. All right, so now the Temptress side, I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm going to start with the brush and then I'll come back with my finger. I think if you were just gonna do this look, you could go straight in with your finger. You don't even need to bother with the brush, but I want them to be equal. So here we go, champagne shade. Picking that up on this shader brush. It picked up so pretty. All right, and we're just gonna pack right in here. Come back with my finger. Yeah, there we go. No need to be fancy, just use your finger, all right? Okay, I'm gonna clean off that shader brush again. I'm using my little shadow switching pan. Ooh. Let's go with Seduction, and I'm gonna use a brush again and see what happens. Okay. Ooh, I almost did it. I almost put this on the ABH side. No, keep your head on straight. Pearl, which will be right here, the second from the top. Pearl on the ABH side. And I'm gonna use the same brush, just clean it off. Oh, it just crumbled all over my shirt, so that's not good. All right, so there's a lot on there. Just remember, these are more crumbly on the sultry side, so I feel like it looks a little more pigmented on this side, but you just kind of have to do the same thing. Come back on the Temptress side and pick that up a little bit more if you want to. So let's do that. Let me pick up Seduction with just my finger, and we're gonna just pack that right in there. Yeah, I think those are completely equal now. Whew. Let's try and get the fallout off. We have fallout on both sides. Okay, I think those are completely similar. I almost want to blend them out, so let me grab the brush that they sent me. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to kind of hit that. I'm gonna hit that. Okay, let's see if we can see a better way to say that. Kind of tap the edges. Tap that. Is that better? What's wrong with me today? Okay. All right. So I kind of want to add a little more color up in here. I think I want to come in and pick up Birch again. And this is a little trick. If you have trouble blending your, your dark shade into your regular skin tone shade, you can come back with what we used as our transition, which was this Birch color. I'm gonna really knock that off because I don't want much. I want a tiny, tiny bit. In fact, it would probably be best if I put this on that bare blending brush, but we're gonna just try it with this and see what happens. I'm just gonna go lightly where the shade starts to morph into my lid shade where it starts to just ombre out to my skin tone. That's where I'm gonna hit that. The equivalent one on the Temptress side is called Lust, so that's what we're gonna do next. Barely get some of that, and then just really, I mean, because you don't want like a stripe of color, you just want it to really not even be noticeable. And mine is. Yikes. Alright, so what you want to do with that is now with this bare brush, I'm just gonna go try to blend that in. That's what I'm looking for. Let me finish the look with liner and lashes, and then we'll come back and maybe put a little bit underneath, so hang on. Okay, so I have my lashes on. The ones that I use today are really long. They are super glam and super fluttery. Let me tell you which ones those are. I have them in here upside down. All right, so I've got my lashes on and I have my liner on. I'm trying out a winged liner stamp. So that's how I got my wing today. I've got it a little longer on this side than on that side. I realize that, but anyway, it is what it is because it's waterproof and I don't want to mess up all of the work that we've done on that. The lashes that I'm wearing today are Salon Perfect, the style 614. And I think what we're gonna do is to come underneath the eye, I wanna start with this twig shade, kind of tap that off a little bit, and I'm coming, let me zoom in so y'all aren't seeing the top of my head when I do this. All right, so I'm just gonna come under. Okay, I'm gonna use Uptown and do the same thing. I'm just kind of working that into the base of those lashes. Let's pick up a little bit of this gold shade. Guilt is what this is. Y'all see that one? There it is, this gold shade. And I'm gonna come in and just kind of weave that in at the base. Just to give us a little more something, something, you know. That's really pretty. I like that. So the equivalent is gonna be Steampunk over here on the ABH side. So we're gonna do the exact same thing. Clean my brush off. Steampunk. So what do I think? What do y'all think? I mean, look at that. I see absolutely no difference between the eyes. You know that I love a good dupe and I would not steer you wrong. If I didn't like it, I would say I didn't like it. If you were not trying to dupe the Sultry palette and you just wanted a gorgeous palette that has everything that speaks to my heart, this would be the palette to get. Did I even tell you this one is $42 from Ulta and this one was $16 from the Alter Ego website. So there you go, that's quite a bit of difference. I will say that they reached out to me and they gave me a discount code of DENA, D-E-N-A, and that will save you guys 15% off. So if you want to use that, you can certainly do it. They were just really sweet to give us a code, so you guys can save a little money with that. Did y'all guess right? You know, when you were trying to guess which eye was which, did you guess? I think that's fantastic. I'm about to go to lunch with my husband, probably at the burrito shop. So here I go with my false lashes and my glitz and glam. But I feel like a temptress, right? And sultry. So y'all have a great afternoon and I will see y'all on the next one. Bye guys. I think I got it.